we've kind of reached the halfway point this weekend. What are your expectations or goals for the rest of the way now going forward?
I want to win Friday. I want to get better. I thought we got better today in practice. I mean, I know those sound like boring things, but that's reality. You know, we got to incrementally get better here, day by day, year by year. You don't make giant leaps in anything in life. You get better step by step, and so, you know, that's our number one focus is individually, collectively, improve through practice, improve through games. You know, we want to every 5-game segment, we want to be a playoff team. And so that's not going to change. You know, that certainly hasn't changed at all. You know, outside of that, let's keep that focus narrowed and see where, you know, at the end of the year, you look back and see what happened. But I certainly don't take it in halves and try to focus more narrowly.
Those 5-game segments, are you guys where you're at, or are you guys a little bit ahead or behind?
No, we're behind, you know, where you'd have to be in terms of the points that historically put you in the spot. So, you know, that means what 5-game segments does is it allows you to look at it for the year, but it also, more importantly, probably allows you to look at it segment by segment. And you know, the more you string along where you're a playoff team, the more you look like one, you know, and so, you know, we've got some different stretches coming up of some tough opponents, including this weekend. And I think it's a constant opportunity to measure yourself. And I don't think there's a measuring game or one game is bigger than the other, but I think it's a constant opportunity to see where you're at, you know, and we've played both these teams once already and lost to both of them. So now we get an opportunity to see, and not that one game makes or breaks you, but, you know, how have we improved, how have they improved?
The last one, do you guys talk playoffs much, or is that just kind of like a prize at the end if you play well?
Yeah, we don't talk necessarily about that. We talk about, you know, where we're at within our segments. We talk about, you know, trying to make sure that we're earning those points that you need to earn. You know, sometimes our focus is even more narrow just on a game, but you know, I think to me, it's about doing the right things. And then if you do the right things, yeah, it leads you into spots that you want to be.
Answer, Con?
Hey, Jeff, what are you hoping that Jamel Smith can bring to the organization?
You know, I think it gives an opportunity to add another player that can give us some depth. You know, he's a guy who's played in a couple different organizations, been able to step in at different times and play. So he has some NHL experience. He played the center ice position. So that gives us more depth at that position with that, which I think is important. You know, I think he's got to be a good energy player, and so we'll see where it all takes us. Everything's we live in a day by day world. You know, I haven't had obviously a chance to even practice with him yet. So let's wait and see where it goes.
So there's no plan right now to start him in Grand Rapids or start him here or anything?
You know, I don't necessarily feel like I need to dive into what our plan is with him. We'll see what tomorrow brings.
Nice boost for Giovanni to have his brother around.
Yeah, it was you know, I think Giovanni was excited. Giovanni was working me, I think it was last year, to try to get Coop to put him in the game when he wasn't playing in Tampa, so they could match up head to head against each other, you know. So so it was good. It was good. You know, I don't know Jamel, obviously just met him today. Giovanni's a great person, so it's nice to have him around.
And is Carter Roney, is he out long term, or what's his status?
Well, I mean, he's still not skating, so, you know, I don't know what I guess what's short and what's long term. I think he's hoping to just get on the ice by himself tomorrow, if that gives you an indication of kind of where he's at. So he's not in a spot where he's ready to practice. He has not been skating at all. So he's hoping again to be able to take a skate tomorrow by himself, and that's, you know, a step in the right direction, and then we'll see where it goes. I can't really give you a specific timeline until we start kind of skating and seeing where he's at.
Thanks.
Yep.
Daniel or Bruce?
Just a quick follow-up on Jamel. I know he hasn't played a game yet this season due to injury. Is he healthy right now if you guys wanted to use him in the near future?
I believe, yes, he was slated to play a game yesterday. Now, we also wanted to put him through our own physical screening, just to see, he had an abdominal injury, so we want to make sure, our sports science people have a screening process that every player goes through, that they want to see where his strengths and weaknesses, balances and imbalances are, so that, we make sure that we design a program that's proper for him. And then, just to make sure our doctors take a look and give him that clean bill of health from our status. I anticipate him being available tomorrow.
Bob Winowski.
Hey there, Jeff. You mentioned incremental steps, and that's how a team progresses. So far, where do you think you made the biggest incremental steps, and what is the next big step, the next big area of improvement you need to see?
Well, I would say, it's been interesting, Wojo. Like, I don't think we're quite as good defensively as we were a year ago. So when you compare us from last year to this year, I think we have to keep getting better defensively, understanding that, every playoff team and every team that wins is in that upper tier of defensive categories statistically, limiting chance against, limiting grade A's against, those types of things. So, that is a continued area. In part of that, Wojo would be moving a number of young guys into significant roles, in increased ice time, and them learning, how on a nightly basis to make sure that you limit those big mistakes and you defend properly. So that's an area where I think we can keep getting better. I would also say, as we've, moved some young guys into increased roles, it's also brought us an influx of talent, and I think that's allowed us to score at a little easier rate than we did a year ago. I think what's improved. I think the confidence and the knowledge of what it takes to win is continually improving here, and those two things go hand in hand. The knowledge of what it takes from a lot of different aspects. One, just that everyday competitive and sacrifice level, both in games and practice. Two, understanding how to manage games and manage the puck and find ways to win hockey games, and with that comes confidence. And to me, those are two areas that have improved. And in order to become a really good team, they need to continue to improve.
And one quick follow-up: from year to year, or even from the start of this year to now, is Dylan Larkin made exponential gains, or does he seem like a different person in many ways to you right now?
Well, I think confidence matters. And I think, last year he just never really felt confident with the puck to the level. It just never went his way. I think there's been definite times throughout his career here that he's been like he is this year, where he's really, really controlling the puck, really controlling the play. And I think, he's got that great explosive ability. One thing that we talked about as a staff and with him is, when he's playing his best, you notice him a lot because he's skating and he has the puck on his stick and he's kind of controlling the play, and he certainly has done that to a way greater extent than a year ago. And why? I think part of it's just confidence, and part of it's learning probably how to lead and be the captain and still take care of your own game. Those aren't easy things, and so. He's playing certainly at a high level, as high as he has since he's been here, probably right in that same category.
Thank you.
Yep.
Last question, Helene St. James.
Jeff, with regards to Jamel, to clarify, when you said you expect to have him tomorrow, is that to practice or to play?
Again, I use the word available, Helene, so there's probably lots of different scenarios that can go with that. But in terms of a medical clearance, he will be available tomorrow.
Okay. What kind of feedback have you gotten from him, from John Cooper? I mean, from the bit he played.
I have not spoke to John yet. I have not spoke to John. So I talked to with Steve. Steve would know him probably as well as anybody. Steve's been has watched him a lot and knows his game. And so, Steve talked to me a little bit about his strengths and potentially where he could help. And I spoke to that a little bit, hopefully he can be a good addition to our depth here, and hopefully he can be a guy who we can move in and play in that center spot and give us some energy and be an energy type player.
Is this just kind of the benefit of having some open roster space and cap room to take a chance? I mean, it's a low risk investment to grab a guy like him off waivers.
Correct. Yeah, I would say, yeah, it's certainly, a benefit of both those things, and you get the opportunity to have a look, and you also, probably a little bit out of necessity. We've got a bit of a not pile up of injuries, but obviously we got a couple guys in Rowney and Stevens that are out at the center position. So it gives a little bit more depth that way. Obviously, we've been missing Varane all year. So it just gives you a little bit more depth, and it does give you that opportunity to have a look and see if it's a good fit and for our organization.
Is Jakob closer to practicing with you guys, or?
No, I wouldn't say closer to practicing. No, but until he gets the clearance, he won't practice. So I wouldn't expect that until I can't say the exact date, but I've used that mid-February kind of as a timeline for a while.
And then just lastly, the new schedule came out yesterday. I mean, is it about what you expected, or kind of an opportunity after a very hectic January for a fair bit of practices and some rest intermixed in February?
Our guys will be sick of practice. It's I had caught wind of kind of what it was going to probably look like. So I knew a little bit what it was going to look like. And it's pretty much what I thought. You'd love to, if it was one building and one team, you can probably place the games a little bit different, but obviously there's a ton going on. It took to the point that, we moved home games with Toronto, and that just speaks to how difficult these things are when you start to the complexity of schedule making is incredible. And so, my hat's off the NHL to be able to do it. And obviously we've got a light February, and there's some, unique kind of challenges in there, how we handle it and what the way we approach it with our group. But it does give, it is nice to not have to play every other day, and it's nice to have some practice time.
It does really stagger to think about how on earth they came out with a schedule before computers, doesn't it?
Oh, I've sat in scheduling meetings before at different levels, junior level, college level, and I tried never to complain too much about schedules because I know how difficult it is.
Thank you.
We got a follow up here.
There are a
You're
couple
not on
of,
your toes today.
there are a couple of sizable gaps there, Jeff. How are you gonna, is there like talk of, I thought there were some teams are gonna give them like 5 days off. Is that a PA thing or something? You know how you're gonna use all that?
Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have like 5 or 6 days right at the All-Star break. So that'll be our kind of break where guys could get away and do that. It's a sizable enough time for us because we don't play on the 7th or 8th, and we can't practice till the 8th. So it's a sizable enough time. So from that game we play before the break through the Monday is off for them. So, we have another real gap after the Ranger game, but it's not really a time where we're going to tell them to go take another vacation, So how we use that, we'll have to be smart. We can't just grind our guys right down, and we'll have to have some practice and some off days mixed in there.
It's almost like a college schedule in a way, kind of like almost a CC, a little bit. Like
Yeah. Some of that is, some of that is, it's like probably a little bit, like maybe the American League when I first went there, because it used to be a lot. I don't know. It is what it is, and we're gonna have to adjust to it. All right.
All right,
Thanks.
questions we have for Coach. Thanks everyone for joining us today.